Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Morris Customs Truck Series SCSRA playoff race number 1 here at the last great Coliseum. This is Bristol Motor Speedway. My name is Josh Hall. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We are back live and getting ready for some playoff action here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, I want to thank everybody who bared with us last week as we had some technical difficulties, had to record the race. I couldn't run it live, and I apologize for that. But we are back. We are live. We're here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Kick, getting ready for race number 1 of the playoffs. Let's take a look at those playoff points coming into tonight. We see Devin Bucciano and Matthew Fritz tied for the top spot with 1,012 points each. Again, points have been reset. Those playoff points for winning a stage have been taken into account. So you've got Devin and Bucciano, Devin and Matthew, 1-2. Joe Wright runs third with 1,008, and you've got a two-way tie for 4th and 5th between Blaze Richardson and Eddie Morris. Jay Stinson back in 6th. Brian Merle Jr. 7th and Matthew Allen 8th, and then you've got four drivers there, each with 1,000 points each, just making their way into the playoffs here tonight. Take a look out on track. Eddie Morris currently the fastest truck out on the racetrack. Fast time of a 14:73. Devin Bucciano sits second fastest right now. He's ran a 14:75, but Dave Hartney in third with a 14:79. So drivers out there getting their laps under their belt, getting ready to do it, battle for 150 laps around Bristol Motor Speedway. And I would like to apologize in advance for not having the playoff banners on the tower there and on the ticker, but we'll have that for next week, and we'll be able to remind you. And most of the playoff drivers should have their banner on their windshield. So we'll take a look here at Eddie Morris. He's even gone so far as to color those numbers there, but you see that banner across the windshield. Those are what the playoff drivers look like, and you'll be able to see all those playoff drivers very easily with those green stickers as the checkered flag is now waving here in practice. So we get ready for qualifying. And before we get qualifying underway, we want to thank all of our great partners here on Intensity Broadcasting here tonight. Of course, Morris Customs, your truck series sponsor. If you're looking for a brand new iRacing paint, visit Morris Customs on Facebook. You can find a link down below in the description. Also, Blue Ridge Auto Group, another one of our great partners. Dev Sports Cards on eBay. You can check them out as well, as we have our first trucks making their way around the racetrack. Of course, also want to mention Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Visit raceepi.com. You can help support our channel by visiting intensitybroadcasting.com for all the hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, Intensity gear, league gear, and of course, Atlee Adman Weiss' racing gear there as well. As Dave Hartney just came across the line, he just shot up to the top of the leaderboard. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence knocks him down a spot. Let's see what Hartney does here off of turn number 4 down to the stripe. Runs a 1483, which is even better than he ran in practice. Richard Hurst, currently second fastest, just ran a 1492. Let's see what he does here on his second lap. He actually runs a little bit slower on his second lap, so he's going to start currently right there in the second position. You know, one of our playoff drivers, Jay Stinson, coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time on his final lap. He's able to improve on that time. He does jump up one spot up into third. Ryan Gomes jumps up to the second position, and Dave Wright back in 5th. Brian Merle Jr. just came across the stripe, and we see Jr. get really loose there, catches the wall. That's going to disallow his time, and he's going to have to settle with a 15:28 for his qualifying attempt. It's Blaze Richardson, another one of our playoff drivers, makes his way down the backstretch towards turns 3 and 4. And across the stripe, and Richardson going to jump up to P5. Matthew Fritz, another playoff driver, just coming across the stripe to take the the white flag on his qualifying attempt. Way up the track there through turns 1 and 2. Run that high lane through turns 3 and 4. Tries to dive it down off the corner just a little bit. Loses it. Holds on to it, though. He's going to stay third fastest currently with quite a few drivers left to make laps. We see Brett Merle out on track. We see Chuck Ballas also out on the racetrack right now. Just took the green flag on his first of 2 laps. Another one of our playoff drivers. Runs the high lane through turns 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. Down the backstretch, Balance comes into turns 3 and 4. And Balance's second lap is going to move him up into the 7th position. Here comes Brett Merle just coming across the line. And he's going to be P3, so there's another one of our playoff drivers in the 3rd position. 3 drivers left to qualify. Gannon Cyphers, Matt Allen, Devin Butchno all left to qualify here. As we have about 6.5 minutes left in qualifying. Oh, Eddie Morris, also another one who has yet to qualify. As Gannon Cyphers is now making his way out onto the racetrack. Cyphers running way up that track there. Comes off of turn number 2. Trying to keep as much speed as he can through turns 3 and 4. Down across stripe. Currently P2. See if he's able to improve on that time here on his second lap. And he does improve on his time a little bit, but not enough to improve his position, as currently sitting in the 2nd position. We see Eddie Morris sitting on pit lane, getting ready to roll. Here comes the 127 of Matt Allen. Another one of our playoff drivers just exiting pit road. Not trying to scrub those tires, got a little bit of heat in them. Have a little extra grip as he comes down across the stripe to start his first of 2 laps. Down the backstretch, Allen comes. Coming through turns 3 and 4, coming to get the checkered flag on his qualifying attempt. Allen is going to jump up into, shall I take that back? He ran his fastest lap of 15:06, not enough to move him into the top 10. Eddie Morris now coming to take the green flag. Down through turns 3 and 4, coming to take the white flag on his qualifying attempt. His first lap. It's going to move him up into the 5th position. Down into turn number 3. Across the stripe, and Morris jumps up to the top of the leaderboard, a 14:77. As Devin Butchno, our last qualifier, rolls out onto the racetrack. So we have about just under 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. He returns 3 and 4 in his first of 2 laps. across the stripe there to take the white flag, jumps up to the second position with 14.82. 10th quicker, 100th quicker than David Hartney, who's in third spot, as Butch comes off of turn number 4 down to the stripe. Devin Buccino is not going to be able to knock Eddie Morris off the pole. He's going to sit there currently in P number 2. We've got about 2 minutes left here in qualifying. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, or on Kick. I forgot we're on Kick now as well. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, again, we want to thank all of our great partners, including our series sponsor, Eddie Morris Customs. If you're looking for a brand new iRacing paint, check out Morris Customs on Facebook at facebook.com/Morris Customs. Also, check out our other series sponsor over in the Next Gen series, Dev Sports Cards. For all your sports memorabilia needs, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay. Of course, Blue Ridge Auto Group, another one of our great partners here with the SCSRA. Of course, some of our great partners here on Intensity, including Race EPI. For all your iRacing setups and coaching needs, visit raceepi.com. Check out and support our channel and Atlee Atman-Weiss's racing career. And Atlee, again, 2 weeks ago, got his first win at Langley in the Pro 6 series. So congratulations to him. I know there is a video up on Atlee Weiss Racing on Facebook highlighting the whole weekend. So pretty cool deal. You can check out that as well. And of course, our great partner over at the Butt Kicker. That was the wrong button. Tell it's been a little bit of time since I've done the Butt Kicker. Of course, Butt Kicker, our great partner over with them. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And of course, they have more than just gaming haptics for racing or other games. Check out, they have haptics that can go in your couch for listening to music, watching movies. Some movie theaters as well are in partnership with the Butt Kicker. They've got the Butt Kickers at the movies, so you can check out everything over at thebuttkicker.com. We get ready to take a look at our starting grid here tonight. On pole is the 8 of Eddie Morris, with Devin Buccino going to start to his outside in position number 2. Row 2 will find the 43 of David Hartney in the Dirtbag Clothing F-150, with Gannon Cyphers his outside in position number 4. Ryan Gomes in that Cat Machine, he'll roll off from the 5th position, with Brett Merle in the 11 Columbia Machine rolling off from 6th. In 7th will be the 29 Epilepsy Machine, Manny Ray's Machine. Venom Motorsports Matt Fritz with Richard Hertz in the Noma Venom Racing Machine to his outside. Jay Stinson in the Blue Ridge Machine. He'll be rolling off from the 9th position, with Chuck Balance in the Dirtbag Machine rolling off 10th. Blaze Richardson in the Plaza Pizza will be rolling off from the 11th spot, with D. Wright in that Air Jordan Machine rolling off from 12th. 13th in the Buddies Tow Truck Machine, that is the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, with Matt Allen to his outside in position number 14. And rounding out the field here tonight in the 13 machine, Killianville Barbershop, Brian Merle Jr. As the field makes their way around the racetrack for their first of 2 laps. Again, we see everybody joined us here tonight We do appreciate you tuned in live. We do have the live chat going as well. So let us know who you're pulling for tonight. Who you think's going to get the first win of the playoffs to secure themselves into the round of 8. Getting ready for the pace truck to pull off on the pit road this time by. We get ready for 150 laps around Bristol Motor Speedway. Our stage break on lap number 50. These guys will have plenty of fuel to make it to that stage break. Space car gets ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. Eddie Morris leads the field to the Geico starting zone. Green flag is in the air. We're racing here at Bristol, and already see Eddie Morris trying to get out in front of Devin Butchno as they come down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Butchno, though, trying to fight on that high side. He wants to lead the first lap, and he will indeed get to the first lap as we have our first caution out on the racetrack, and we have a mess of trucks turned around here in turn number 4. It's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind. Looks like it might have started back here with Brett Merle. Let's see where this all start. Oh, it did start right behind. So looks like the 21. Richard Hurst. We're gonna rewind this one yet again, and we'll find Richard Hurst here, and we'll see what happened here. Richard Hurst up on the high side of Gomes, and he just loses it right there. And you see that's Matt Allen trying to avoid it. That's the Chuck Balance comes through there, and here comes D Wright into the mix as well. Matt Allen nowhere to go. Brian Merle Jr. trying to avoid it. Cheeseburger catches Matt Allen there, and right off the get-go, we've got the big one here at Bristol. That's the problem with a short track like Bristol. These guys are going so fast that once the track clogs up, there's really nowhere for anybody to go, and it's really easy to see a bunch of drivers get caught up on an incident like that, especially right off the get-go. So Devin Butchno was able to lead the first lap here. Eddie Morris sits back in second. Looks like Butch is going to take the high lane on this restart. Putting Eddie Morris down on the bottom. And find Gann Cyphers and David Hartney back in row number 2. Brett Merle and Ryan Gomes back in row number 3. Field makes their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace truck getting ready to turn down on the pit road. Devin Butchno fires off. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here on lap number 6. See Brett Merle working around Ryan Gomes up into the 5th position. Dave Hartney trying to work around Eddie Morris on the high side. He's going to take over second. It looks like he's trying to save his stuff right now. It doesn't look like he's trying to push too hard. It's really easy to burn the right front off here at Bristol. You're carrying so much speed. And Eddie might just be trying to hang back a little bit and save those tires. You see Gann Cyphers working around the high side of Morris as well. Further back in the pack, we see Chuck Balance trying to work on the 55 of Ryan Gomes. Brett Merle right here in this mix as well. So we got 3 trucks under a blanket as Gomes is going to look down to the inside of Brett Merle, but Brett's going to have the advantage on the high side. Ooh, hard contact for Chuck Balance right behind into the outside wall. Easy to do here. Fortunately, it doesn't look like enough damage to really slow down that 41 machine. We'll see drivers bouncing off the wall all night tonight. As Balance takes a look down to the inside of Ryan Gomes, and right behind we see Matthew Fritz trying to get himself up into this battle as well. And caution is out on the racetrack. It looks like it's for Dave Wright, who's turned around in turn number 2. That's going to bring up our second record rewind of the night. And you see Dave Wright working down to the inside. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence here. Just in front, we see that's Richard Hurst and Brian Merle Jr. battling it out. It looks like, you see, yeah, a little bit of net code, but also that 84 was sliding up the track. Whether or not there was net code, they were going to make contact anyways. But not a whole lot that could have been done right there. Let's see if we can take a look here from the roll bar. We'll take a look at D Wright's hands. Just how fast it happens here. Yeah, you see him chasing that truck up the track just a little bit. Hard contact with the outside wall. But doesn't look like there was enough damage to get him down on the pit road, so he's going to stay out onto the racetrack. One driver coming down pit road. That is the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. As I say that, D. Wright does make his way down pit road as well. So working our second caution for incident here tonight. This one's just a 2-car incident between Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and David Wright. Both drivers have gotten themselves back out onto the racetrack, and neither driver is going to be in jeopardy of going a lap down as Devin Butchno chooses the high side on this restart. Lights are off on the pace truck. 1 lap to go before we go back. Green flag racing. David Hartney down on the low side. We find Gan Cyphers and Eddie Morris back in row number 2. Brett Merle and Ryan Gomes, row number 3. Chuck Balance and Matthew Fritz, row number 4. And Blaze Richardson and Richard Hurst back in at the end of the top 10 as the pace truck makes its way down on the pit road. Back to the Geico restart zone, and green flag is back in the air. And it looks like Dave Hartney was caught sleeping on that restart just a little bit. Dave Morris was able to go around on the high side. Hartney trying to fight back on the low side as we see Gan Cyphers and Brett Merle battling side by side. Merle's going to tuck in behind Gan Cyphers. Now he's going to be under attack by the 55 of Ryan Gomes as they go down into turns 3 and 4. Matthew Fritz trying to follow through as well. He gets a little loose there. He gets passed by Richard Hurst. Now Hurst on the move, trying to make his way to the outside of Gomes. Eddie Morris is now chasing down Devin Butchno. I take that back. It's David Hartney who's running down Eddie Morris. Oh, Gan Cyphers sideways off the corner, able to hang on to it. What a save. Now he's going to lose it again. Right in front of the field. Caution. Caution is out on the racetrack. So he goes sliding down to the infield. Well, not really infield, but the inside there, down on the apron. It's going to bring out another wreckage rewind. We take a look at Gan Cyphers, who's almost saved it. Almost had 2 big saves within 1 lap. We see the first one here as he comes off of turn number 4, and he's able to hold on to a great heads-up driving by Richard Hurst, but yeah, that right rear tire was just angry at that point, kind of heated up, and just no grip as the 2 goes right around. That brings up our most recent caution. That's going to put Gan Cyphers all the way to the back of the field. So we are almost to halfway in the stage. Of course, don't forget to join us tomorrow night as well over on Noma, as the Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series will take on Richmond Raceway for their first race of the playoffs, their round of 12. Catch that on Noma TV starting at 9:15 p.m. tomorrow night. As the field makes their way around the racetrack, coming through turns 3 and 4, lights on the pace truck should be shutting off this time. See if Devin Butchino takes the high lane yet again, which it looks like he will. That's going to put Eddie Morris back down on the bottom. Brett Merle now going to restart from on that high side in the second row. We'll see if he's able to we'll see if he's able to catch Eddie Morris sleeping here, and Dave Hartney restarting from the 4th position as the field makes their way through turns 3 and 4, coming back to the Geico restart zone. And green flag is back in the air. Another great jump for Devin Butchino down into turn number 1. Brett Merle trying to use that high lane to try to get alongside Eddie Morris, and he will. Morris is going to lose the 2nd position. Is he going to lose more? Is David Hartney now looking up to the high side, but tucks back in line? Down into turns 1 and 2. Oh, Brett Merle just got really loose there. Able to hold on to it. Brian Merle Jr. having some issues. He gets looped around. That's going to bring out another caution. So you can see what happened to Brian Merle Jr. here in the back of the field. So Chuck Balance came up the track a little bit, and a little bit, might have been a little bit of net code right there as well. But let's take a look to see what happened to. Take a look to see what happened to Brett here, because we saw Brett get really loose as well. Let's do. Oh, right there. Wow, look at that. It's never a good sign when you see a truck get so loose that it leaves tire marks on the racetrack, and you'll see that. He's able to hang on to it there, and let's actually take one more look at this right along and see. Watch his hands here. Yeah, that's not a fun feeling when you're in the truck and you have to turn the wheel that much back to the right to get it straightened out. We're about halfway through the first stage. Devin Butchino's led just about every lap since the drop of the green flag. If the lights on the pace truck shut off and we get ready to go back green flag racing. Eddie Morris does not want to be down on that low lane. I'm sure he wishes that there was a choose rule in effect where he can get himself up onto the high lane, but we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing. And while we do that, let's go ahead and pump up the intensity. Sights and sounds here at Bristol Motor Speedway as we see 29 of Fritz just barely bounce off the wall there. Again, we're going to see that all night long here tonight as drivers continue to battle it out. As we see David Hartney running down the 68, Devin Butchno. These two pulling away from Eddie Morris back in third, almost a second ahead of Eddie, who runs back in that third position. Hartney, who hasn't had the chance to race with us in a couple weeks, showing he still knows how to get around the racetrack as he is currently in the second position. He's matching lap times with Devin Butchno right now, so see if Hartney can be a contender here at the end of the race. Well, further back, see Brian Merrill Jr. making his way back through the field. He's gotten around both Chuck Balance and Jay Stinson. Now he's trying to work on the 47 of Michael Cheever Lawrence. Right in front, we see Dan Cyphers trying to make his way back through the field as well. And Dave Hartney now has a mirror full of the 8 of Eddie Morris, as Eddie's going to go right around the high side and take over that second position. So we have less than 10 laps to the stage break, and Eddie, I know, wants those stage points, wants those playoff points to try to get himself an advantage here. Eddie, having a couple stage wins, was not able to get a race win in the Truck Series, so see him doing everything he can to try to run down the 68 of Devin Butchno. This is his home track. Has issues for the 2 of Dan Cyphers. He's down on the apron. Doesn't look able to get it rolling, so it doesn't look like this is going to bring out a caution. As that happens, we see Eddie Morris down to the inside of Devin Butchno. This is a battle for the lead with 5 laps left in the stage. Butchno able to use that high lane advantage, try to keep the momentum, keep Eddie Morris behind him. It's so hard to pass on the low side, because when you get down into the corner, the truck really just bogs down there. You're not able to get back to the throttle as easily as you can on the high side. They are now door to door across the line on lap 47. Both drivers giving each other a ton of respect and room here as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. And oh, little slide job, little contact there. As I say that, between Devin and Eddie. Devin now able to sneak out just in front by a little bit. These two are teammates battling this hard. That shows you how much that stage win means. So we have 2 laps left in the stage, coming to 1 lap in the stage here, and Eddie Morris trying to make one last ditch effort to get around Devin Butchino and win the stage here off of turn number 2. On the throttle hard, you see him getting sideways or side by side through turns 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4 down to the stripe, and Devin Butchino is going to get the stage win by a bumper cover as the caution comes out this time for the stage. Here is your stage winner, the 68 of Devin Butchino. Devin will come around and lead the field down onto pit road. And then we'll get a word with our stage winner, as I imagine the entire field will be making their way down on the pit road. And one driver staying out, that is the 2 of Gannon Cyphers. He had the lucky dog, so he's making his way around the racetrack. Let's see who wins the race off pit road. It's going to be Devin Butchino, followed by Eddie Morris, Brett Merle, Blaze Richardson, and David Hartney is going to get off 5th. We did see Gannon Cyphers out in front of the field for a second, but he has fallen back due to him being the lucky dog here. Let's get a word with our stage winner, Devin Butchino. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, congrats on the stage win. Hard battle there between you and Eddie. Made a little contact there. I don't think it was intentional or anything, but talk us through the last couple of laps of the stage there. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, the truck really fell off with about 10 to go. We've been fortunate enough to have that outside line on the restart, and that's kind of our saving grace because Eddie is really quick. Thankfully, we were able to hold him off there because I think he's got a lot. I think it's going to be tough to hold off. But, yeah, it's just good racing. I backed up my corner too much a couple times and let him get close on entry, but I'm hoping we can just keep it up front.
Well, what's going to be the strategy from here on out? I know we had a lot of cautions the first stage, but usually in these races, when we have a lot of cautions in the first stage, it goes green the rest of the way. So what are you kind of thinking here?
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth. We're going to have to save the stuff, but still be aggressive because, having that lane choice on the restart, being the control car, it just pays so much. So it's a fine line. We got to figure out how to be fast, but also save that right front because it can go away quick.
Well, congrats on the stage win. Good luck at the final stage here, and hope to talk to you at the end.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
So that was your stage winner, Devin Butchino. So let's see how they will line up here on this restart. Devin Butchino will be the control truck. I imagine he's going to choose the outside. He's been doing that all race long. Eddie Moore is going to be in position number 2. We'll find Brett Merle and Blaze Richardson back in row number 2. David Hartney, Matt Allen back in row 3. Dave Wright, Ryan Gomes back in row 4. Then Brian Merle Jr. and Jay Stinson round out your top 10. Richard Hurst, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. And row number 6, Matthew Fritz, Chuck Balance, and Gannon Cyphers will round out the field. Again, and of course has to start at the tail of the field after getting the lucky dog wave around. So Butch getting ready to bring them back around here as we get ready to restart for the final stage here in the first race of the playoff from the last Great Coliseum. Bristol Motor Speedway pace truck down on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are back racing. You see again that high lane having that advantage as Blaze Richardson tries to look up to the high side of Eddie Morris to try to take over that second position. He will clear Eddie off of turn number 4. As caution is back out on the racetrack, it looks like Brian Merle Jr. having some issues here in the back of the field. Let's see if we can see what happened to Junior here. Just loses it. We've seen drivers hit that bump. I don't know if it's a bump and the trucks are just bottoming out or whatever it is, but we've seen that a few times tonight where the trucks just lose it there down on the bottom. So fortunately, just him involved. Should be a quickie caution. We should be able to get right back underway. So 2 short track races this week for the SCSRA, of course here at Bristol for the trucks, and then tomorrow night from Richmond in the Next Gen Series. Should be a great race tomorrow night to tune in for as well. Of course here in the Truck Series, it looks like this: Bristol and Texas for your round of 12, Talladega and Auto Club for the round of 8, and then your final race, your final 4, will race it out at Phoenix. In the Next Gen Series, you've got Richmond and Charlotte for the round of 12, then Talladega and Michigan, and then rounding out the season at Las Vegas. So very similar setup there, with your first round being a short track and one of those big quad oval tracks, and then Talladega and the 2-miler of Michigan or Auto Club, and then rounding out the race season at Phoenix in the trucks. That should lend to be a great race, and Las Vegas always puts on a good show in the Next Gen Series. So a lot of racing left to do here tonight, though, as Devin Butchno gets ready to lead the field down back to the green flag, and this time Blaze Richardson is stuck on that low line. Green flag's in the air. Yeah, that low lane just is not able to get the power down like we've seen everybody else be able to up on the top lane. But this is the first time we've seen that second place truck not lose a position on the restart. As Blaze Richardson has a mirror full of the 11 of Brett Merle Jr. I'm sorry, it's Brett Merle. Great view there from the back bumper of the 33. Eddie Morris is getting passed on the high side by the 55 of Ryan Gomes, and Eddie's falling back to the 8th position. But again, I think this is by design. We saw this in the first run. Eddie just kind of fell back there on the beginning of the run, methodically worked his way back up through the field. I think he's just trying to save some tires and fuel. Again, this is his home track, so imagine we'll see him make his way back through the field. As the 29, Matthew Fritz, having some issues there. He was just sideways off the corner. When we gather it back up, falls back to the 14th position. See, Eddie Morris has the 41 on check balance. Oh, Eddie loses it. Eddie loses it there on the front stretch. Caution is out. We see the flag flying. We are riding right along with Eddie when that happened. Let's bring out the wreckage rewind as we take a look to see exactly what happened to Eddie here. It looks like he just got a little loose there. And you see the truck just snap around. Kind of the same thing we saw out of Gannon Cyphers and Brian Merle Jr. Fortunately, no damage to the 8 machine, so he will be able to stay out, and I don't think he did any damage to those tires. Although it does look like he's going to make his way down pit road and possibly take 4 tires after that slide. See Eddie make his way down to his pit stall. Well, no tires, so it looks like he just fuel only, maybe a little bit of damage. Maybe he did get a little bit of damage there. He is back down and away. As we are just a few laps away from halfway. Take you through the field. Devin Butchnote is still your leader. Blaze Richardson runs back in the 2nd spot. Brett Merle up to 3rd, and Dave Hartney holding on to that 4th spot. Matt Allen up 9 positions, up in the 5th. Blaze Richardson also up 9 positions into the 2nd spot. So a couple big movers here at the front of the field. Jay Stinson runs back in 6th, with Ryan Gomes, another playoff driver, back in 7th. Chuck Balance back in the 8th position, and then Richard Hurst runs back in 9th, with Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence rounding out the top 10. Gannon Cyphers in 11th, with Brian Merle Jr. up to 12th. 13th, Matthew Fritz. David Wright and Eddie Morris round out the rest of the field as the field makes their way through turns 3 and 4, and the pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn back down on the pit road. Devin Butchnote hits the gas. We are back green flag racing as David Hartney trying to make a move on the high side of Blaze Richardson. Well, he's going to fall victim to that 33 machine, as he's going to have to tuck back in the 3rd position. As Richardson showing a lot of speed here this middle portion of the race, trying to run down Devin Butchnote. Ooh, 3 wide racing in the back. Literally, Brett Merle was just up in the wall. We see Chuck Balance get forced down onto the apron. No caution, though. We're able to continue on. Oh, now Jay Stinson just got turned around, and no caution. We stay green. Take a look back and see what happened here as we see the 31 down on the low side. Oh, makes contact with Brett there. He's trying to gather it up, and then Gomes just, it's like a little bit of net code, a little bit of contact there, and those 2 drivers heavy contact to the inside of the wall for Jay Stinson. He's going to lose the lap here, one of our playoff contenders. So he's now going to make his way down on the pit road with a heavily damaged race truck. Good battle here between Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Gannon Cyphers. Cyphers up on the high side. He's going to clear the 47 machine. Cheeseburger is going to lose a couple more spots to Dave Wright. Possibly Ryan Gomes here as well, as he's getting freight train down on the low side. Oh, Dave Wright gets loose. Able to gather it up, though. And now we see Cheeseburger was just completely sideways off the corner as well. So right now, these trucks are not handling well at all, as Brian Merle Jr. has now climbed himself up into the top 5. Him and Matt Allen both up 10 positions, running 4th and 5th respectively. Blaze Richardson falling back from Devin Butchnote just a little bit. Well, battle still going on back here between Matthew Fritsch and Richard Hurst. Couple Venom drivers side by side with Eddie Morris trying to work his way back through the field. Eddie showing some patience here. You know he has a fast truck and he's just trying to work his way back through the field. So we're now just 10 laps past halfway. Eddie looking down to the inside of Hurst. He's going to take that position away. Right in front though. See a battle between Brett Merle and Ryan Gomes. Merle's trying to use that high lane to get around the 55, and Matthew Fritz trying to follow the 11 right through as well. You see battles all over the racetrack as those guys are battling back here. Eddie Morris making his way into the mix. And we see D. Wright and Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence going at it as Cheeseburger got really loose there into the corner. That's going to allow, I thought it was going to allow Dave Wright to power off the corner and get around, but D. Wright looks like he's pushing a little bit up on that high lane, just not able to clear the 47 as they run up on Richard Hurst. As Eddie Morris now taking a look down underneath the 29 of Matthew Fritz, and now he's going to take a look down right underneath Brett Merle as well. They're side by side. This is for the 7th position. So a great battle here for 6th through 9th here as all these drivers under a blanket. Eddie Morris able to clear Brett Merle, take over that 7th position, and he is quickly running down the 2 of Gannon Cyphers. So you see Brett Merle just barely catch the wall right behind. Eddie, oh, the 2 of Cyphers bounces off the wall right above Eddie Morris. It's going to give Eddie the momentum he needs to get around the 2. Now Matthew Fritz around Cyphers. Cyphers slow. Bouncing off the wall yet again. But Merle's going to get around. Looks like Ryan Gomes is going to try to make a move here as well underneath the 2. Eddie Morris looking down underneath Brian Merle Jr. Trying to take over the 5th spot, and he will indeed take over that 5th position. So the 8 of Eddie Morris is flying right now, making his way back through the field after that early spin. He's got over a second that he's got to gain to catch up to Matt Allen as we see Brian Merle Jr. bounce off the wall. That's going to allow Matthew Fritz to get right around as well. And now the Merle brothers are going to go at it here for 7th and 8th position. Junior's going to try to take the low lane away from Brett. Brett's going to be able to pull right around the high side. As the battle's starting to heat up here for the 3rd position as David Hardy got really loose there. He's going to lose 2 positions here, one to Matt Allen, the other to Eddie Morris. And Morris right now is the fastest truck on the racetrack. Last time by ran a 15:58. Matthew Fritz also ran a 15:58. Devin Butchnow ran 15:72. So this 8 machine really turning on the afterburners here with less than 50 laps to go. You know, fuel should not be an issue here. The tires might be, so we'll see how this one plays out, especially if we get a late race caution. As Matthew Fritz makes his way around Matt Allen, moving the 127 back into the 5th position. As 8 of our top 10 drivers are currently playoff drivers. The only 2 that are not is Dave Hartney and Gannon Cyphers. As Cyphers bounces off the wall right in front of David Wright again. Devin Butchno, though, running in a bit of traffic now. He's got Charles Balance up to the high side. He's battling with Richard Hurst here and bouncing off the leader by. Here comes Devin to the inside of Hurst. Devin with a 4-second lead over second place, who is now the 8 of Eddie Morris, moving up into second around Blaze Richardson. Here comes Matthew Fritz, trying to challenge for that 3rd spot as well. And Eddie's going to have clean racetrack in front of him for a little bit as Devin Butchno has just cleared the lap traffic. You see more lap traffic just out in front of him as we see Dan Cyphers making his way down on the pit road. That's what Eddie Morris sees, is he's got some lap traffic that he's running up on as well. So they're side by side in front of him. That's not what Eddie wants to see at this moment, but he can see that yellow truck of Devin Butchno out the windshield as he is closing on the 68 machine. A battle back here between Brian Merle Jr. and Ryan Gomes. It's back for 8th and 9th, and Junior's going to continue to hold on to that 8th spot. As Brett Merle and Matt Allen are continuing to battle for the 5th spot. Eddie's making his way through the lap traffic. That's going to put 2 trucks between himself and the 29 of Matthew Fritz. But the more important thing is that lead that Devin Butchno has is shrinking. And you can see it right there. How this looks like stairs. Well, that means that the interval is getting smaller and smaller. You see where Eddie caught the lap traffic and Devin's lead grew back just a little bit. And we'll see here as Eddie comes across the line. That lead is continuing to shrink. 3.2 seconds is the gap between Eddie and Butchno as they come across the line here. Now it's still 3.2. Eddie's so good through turns 1 and 2. That's where he's gaining all of his time. Butch, though, able to stay even with him through turns 3 and 4. That is not what Butch wants to see, is that interval shrinking more and more lap after lap. 2.5 seconds now separates our leaders as we are quickly approaching 25 laps to go. A battle right here between Blaze Richardson and Brett Merle with the lap truck of Richard Hurst right in the mix as well. Both playoff drivers trying to get as many points as they can and capitalize. So right now, Blaze Richardson able to stay just out in front of Brett Merle. Less than 2 seconds now separate our leaders. We take a look here from Eddie Morris's roof cam. Cannon Cypher's on fresh tires. That's why he was able to get by as quickly as he just did, bouncing off the wall in front of Eddie Morris. That's the difference that new tires is going to make, though. As you see Cannon bouncing off the wall yet again, working down underneath Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, and now Cypher's going to try to get around Devin. That's going to slow Devin up a little bit more here as he slides right up in front of Butchino. You see just how much each lap Eddie's been able to eat into Devin Butchino's lead. Caution! Caution is out on the racetrack. Not sure what just brought out the yellow flag. I'll see if we can figure this one out for you. Looks like this was contact between Blaze Richardson and Brett Merle. Richardson got a little loose off the corner. Got into Merle as we see drivers coming down on the pit road. Now, will the strategy be 2 or 4 here? I think if you're somebody like David Hartney or Blaze Richardson with nothing to lose, you might take 2. See, Butchino and Morris both taking 4. Matthew Fritz taking 4. Looks like everybody's taking 4 tires. We have a second group of trucks coming down pit road on the second time by. I think Richardson just stayed out to lead a lap and get a bonus point. Smart move coming down pit road this time. Feels like he might have a fast enough truck to make something happen here towards the end. Sylvan in the chat. Good to see you, Sylvan. Good evening to you as well. As this is about to get exciting with less than 20 laps to go here at Bristol, and our leaders all on fresh tires. And I'm sure more than ever Eddie was wishing that we had a choose cone here where he would be able to restart on the high side, because we've seen that high lane have such an advantage on the restarts. I'm sure Eddie was wishing that he'd have that advantage as well. So we're going to restart with about 19 laps to go. Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris will be on the front row as the lights on the pace truck turn off. Matthew Fritz and David Wright back in row number 2. Brett Merle and Matt Allen, row number 3. Blaze Richardson's going to take the EOL for causing that incident, so he's going to fall all the way back. That's going to move David Hartney David Hartney and Ryan Gomes into row 4. Brian Merrill Jr., Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in row number 5. As Devin Butchino leads the field back down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Another great jump for the 68. We see that bottom lane just not able to fire off as well as the top lane, as Eddie Morris now has a hard charging Matthew Fritz right there behind him, looking down to the inside. Eddie's able to stay. This time Eddie is not going to be saving his stuff here for this final run. He's going to be hard charging, as we see a little battle right behind. Ooh, Dave Wright. Sorry, that was Richard Hurst and Chuck Balance were involved there, as Blaze Richardson's down on pit road. Not sure what he's down on pit road for, but it looks like possibly he's taking tires. So I'm not sure what happened to Richardson there. But 15 laps to go, 14 and a half laps to go, as Devin Butchino has Eddie Morris running him down. See Eddie using every inch of racetrack trying to get up to that 68 machine to try to get his first win of the truck season. And Matthew Fritz, who already is a winner here in the trucks, trying to get another win here as he sees Eddie Morris diving down to the inside, trying to get alongside the 68 of Devin Butchino. We saw this for the stage win. Now we're going to see it for the race win, but this time we've got a third contender, Matthew Fritz, up in the mix here as well. This time Eddie runs a little higher lane, trying to get some momentum to try to get down underneath Devin Butchino. He's going to be side by side for the lead through turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch they come into turns 3 and 4. Eddie Morris dives it in hard. He loses it. Eddie Morris spins out, trying to get around. Caution is out on the racetrack. Eddie Morris trying to do everything he could. Loses it. Man, what a break. That's going to bring up our wreckage rewind. And that's going to do it for Eddie Morris here tonight as well. The rule is if you bring out 2 cautions, you are done for the night, and that is the second time that Eddie Morris has self-spun here, and he's going to have to park it. That is going to end his night. Tough break for the 8 of Eddie Morris. You see Brett Merle taking tires, David Hartney taking tires as well, trying to make a last ditch. Oh, we didn't even change the screen. I apologize for that. So let's see if we can re-see what happened to Eddie here, just battling down underneath Devin Butchino, and you see the truck just snap around. We've seen this a couple times tonight where the truck just loops around there. No warning or indication. Again, that being his second caution of the evening to him, that is going to park him for the rest of the night. Well, Eddie is probably not too pleased with himself right now. I don't even see him in the server. Looks like he is left Discord as well. So, driver of the number 8 machine retiring with less than 10 laps to go. Of course, next week we move on to Texas. Hopefully Eddie can rebound at Texas, because I know he's going to have a good chance of winning at Talladega in 2 weeks' time, and you don't want something like this to take him out of the playoffs completely. Now Devin Butchinow's got a completely different challenger up here racing with him, and that is the 29 of Matthew Fritz in that Epilepsy Foundation machine. Seen him turn on the afterburners the last few laps and got himself right up to the front. How about Matt Allen up here as well, trying to steal a win? He's up on the high side. Has an opportunity to get a great start on that high side. We've seen that high lane launch all night long. Pace truck is down on the pit road. Green flag is back in the air, and exactly like I said, Matt Allen gets a great launch up on the high side, trying to work around the high side of Matthew Fritz, and this is exactly what Devin Butchinow wants to see in his mirrors. They are side by side for the second position. Oh, Richard Hurst has some issues. He has made his way down the pit road. He's spun around, but we stay green with 4 laps to go. And now Matthew Allen gets around Matthew Fritz right as the caution comes out. This is actually a tale of 2 wrecks here, so we'll take a look at the first one here. This one did not bring out the caution. This was the 21 of Richard Hurst. Just, it's like going down into turn. Man, just like we've seen all night long, just snap down into the corner, gets himself down on the pit road. Then, meanwhile, while that was happening, Gannon Cyphers, oh, Cheeseburger got into Brett Merle. That collects, this is going to collect a ton of tricks. Oh, Gannon! Hard contact there. Tough break. There's seemed like a little bit of contact there between Cheeseburger. Rewind it just a little bit more. Well, Britt puts the bumper to Gomes going down into the corner, and I don't think Cheeseburger was expecting Merle to come down the track that much. You know, I would just chalk that one up personally as a racing deal. We'll have to see how the admins handle that one, but I mean, that's and then Blaze Richardson, Chuck Balance, just nowheres to go. And then man, this hit that Gannon Cyphers takes right here, just he was not expecting that at all. You actually ride along with Gannon, you can see, yeah, just with a push that Merle gives Gomes going into the corner, and Gannon thinks he's through it here, and all of a sudden, nowheres to go. Just innocent bystander at that point. But that's going to bring up the 3 most exciting words in motorsports: green, white, checker. You know, Devin Butchinow is going to choose the high lane here. Matt Allen's going to have the opportunity to restart on the low side, and Matthew Fritz is going to have the position right there behind Devin. Again, we've seen that 3rd place truck, or 4th place truck, excuse me, all night long. Really have a great advantage. So we'll see how this works out here. Take it back, it's going to be Dave Wright restarting in the 4th spot. So see if D. Wright can get himself up onto the podium here tonight. As we are getting ready with 2 laps to go. Devin Butchino leads the field down. Pace truck down on the pit road. Green flag's back in the air, and there you go. D. Wright getting the great jump up on that high side. He's going to pull alongside Matt Allen. Allen, though, going to be able to drive away Matthew Fritz now. Looking down to the inside of D. Wright as Devin Butchino comes off the turn number 4. Oh, yellow flag back in the air. No white flag. I think the yellow flag came out before the white flag. Wow, look at the race truck. Doing some drifting there around Devin Butchino. Yes, yellow flag is in the air. So we are going to do it one more time as we take a look, see what happened here. It looked like it was Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence having some issues here as the green flag comes out. Cheeseburger just loops it down to the inside. He reset, so I don't think that's what brought out the... Oh. There is actually more stuff going on behind. You see Brian Merle Jr. a little loose here coming off of turn number 4. And Richard Hurst gets into the back of the 13 machine, spins him right around, and oh! Chuck Balance nowhere to go. Another hard lick for the 41 machine. So we're going to have another attempt here at the green-white checker. So this will be our second attempt at a green-white checker finish. This league, I was just checking the rule book, this league does have a maximum of 3 attempts at a green-white checker finish. Devin Butchino already up on that high side. You know who else is up on that high side? Matthew Fritz, who showed a lot of speed in the closing laps here tonight. We'll have to see if he can take advantage of the high lane here as the lights are off on the pace truck. Devin Butchino will be in the control truck, getting ready to bring it back down to the green flag for our second of 2 attempts, or sorry, second of 3 attempts at a green-white checker. Back under green. Oh, and Matt Allen does not get going on that low side. That stacks the entire field up, including Matthew Fritz, who gets up in the wall now. He's trying to battle down to the inside as we are coming to the white flag. White flag is in the air. They take it, 1 lap to go. Yellow flag is put away. Matt Allen trying to run down Devin Butchino. Here comes Matt Fritz down to the inside, trying to take over that second position. Now for turn number 4, Devin Butchino is going to get the win. It's a photo finish for second place, but Devin Butchino getting the win here at Bristol. Matt Allen brings it home in second. Matt Fritz in third. Wow. These 3 drivers line up here for their picture. This is how close it was coming down to the line. There is the difference between second and third, as Devin Buchino is now burning it out on the front stretch, celebrating his win here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. What this does for Butch is this locks him into the round of 8 as well. As we take a look at your results. And Devin Buchno getting the win. Matt Allen brings it home in second. Matthew Fritz in third. Dave Wright and Brett Merle round out your top 5. 6 will be Richard Hurst with Dave Hartney coming home 7th. Ryan Merle Jr. in 8th. Gan Cyphers and Ryan Gomes, your top 10. Chuck Balance brings home 11th. Jay Stinson 12th. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence back in 13th. Liz Richardson 14th. And unfortunately Eddie Morris finishing 21 laps down, back in the 15th position. As we get ready to talk to our top 3. We'll get the camera all set up. Everybody knows and loves. We'll talk with our first driver here tonight, driver of the 29 machine, Matthew Fritz. Matt, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, what a run for you here tonight. Coming home third, showing a lot of speed there at the end of the race. Talk us through that second half of the race for you, really, and running down the leaders with Eddie there, following him through.
Yeah. The first I got in the big one, lap 1, and I didn't take my fast repair, and the truck drove absolutely horrible. I had a minute and 30 seconds of damage, so I took my fast repair and I drove a lot better, and that's how I got through the field. I followed Eddie, so I want to thank you, Eddie, for showing me the bottom.
Yeah, that's something you normally don't see, the bottom working here at Bristol. Usually all the passes are made up top, and especially on the restarts, it seemed like that bottom lane just could not take off for whatever reason. What were you able to do there to keep yourself up at the front there, especially restarting there on that bottom lane?
Just trying to get a good launch, a lot of wheel spin, and then and the leader just on the top lane just has it, and I was just trying to time it right.
Well, again, great race for you. Good points night for you in the first round of the playoffs here. Before I let you go, though, Matt, first off, I like your chances next week at Texas.
I gotta do some practice. Ever since the setup change, I'm not very good there, but I always say that every track, and I somehow end up doing pretty well. So we're gonna get there and give it a shot.
And before you let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you got to give here tonight?
Manny Ray's Epilepsy Foundation, Jay and Richard helped me out a lot, and my family watching. Appreciate them, and appreciate you broadcasting.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys putting on a great show here tonight, and good luck tomorrow night as well, and next week as we get ready to round out the playoffs here.
Thank you very much.
Have a great night. So that was your third place finisher, Matthew Fritz. Let's bring in your second place finisher, which I have to do a little camera editing here. That's your second place finisher, Matt Allen. Matt, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you. What's going on, Josh?
Man, what a run there at the end. Kind of hung out the back all race long. Really didn't talk about you too much. And then turned it on there right at the end. What was the difference at the end of the race as opposed to the beginning of the race, or were you just trying to stay out of trouble and save some stuff there for the end?
A little bit of both. I know how Bristol can be. I've raced Bristol many times. We've always had good luck with Bristol. I have to give a shout out to my spotter, Jeremy Briggs. If it wasn't for him to getting me the right call as far as fuel, so we had a little bit less fuel than the rest of the guys, so we were kind of a little bit lighter, so we could have handled a little bit better. If it wasn't for his calls, I don't think we'd be even in this thing. But yeah, we definitely did hang out in the back for a little while, and played the right call, got to where we needed to be, and we're here where we needed to be at the end of it.
Talk about the chaos there at the end of the race. I know I was talking with Matt Fritz about that as well. The inside lane just could not take off for whatever reason, and getting stuck down there was not where you guys wanted to be. What were you able to do to kind of keep the momentum there on the bottom side and give yourself a chance here at the end?
Big shout out to my spotter again. Just basically telling me where I needed to be, the cars behind me, where as soon as I could get clear, get up in that top lane. Obviously the top lane is the way to rock, but yeah, I got to give a big shout out to him because, like I said, I don't think if he wasn't in my ear tonight, I don't think we'd be where we're at tonight.
Well, again, awesome run for you. Next week we move on over to Texas Motor Speedway. How do you like your chances at the little mile and a half there?
We're pretty decent. I don't know what's happened with the 127 Chevy, but it's kind of turned the burners on these last couple races. We've had some good finishes. We've done our homework as far as practicing and whatnot, and we've put ourselves in a good position, especially with this second place finish tonight. So I'm looking forward to Texas. I'm hoping that this carries over and maybe we can even put ourselves in the win column.
Awesome, man. And before we let you go, anyone else you got a shout out here tonight? Any other thanks you got to give?
My Facebook page, Matt Allen Esports, everybody that kind of comes in and watches the stream every night. Appreciate all you guys. Bruzy Racewear, big thank you to Judd for always putting his logos and stuff on my car. Got to thank my buddy Edub from Warpath Graphics. The new scheme this week was for the playoff, and he absolutely nailed it, and it gave us some good luck going forward. So.
I've heard that new paint and that banner on the roof there gives you a good extra 10 to 15 horsepower. So
it felt like it tonight.
You kind of showed that off tonight. So again, congratulations on the podium here tonight, and good luck next week at Texas.
Appreciate it, Josh. Have a good night.
You as well. As your second place finisher, Matt Allen. Let's bring in your winner here tonight. Driver of the 68 Dev Sports Cars machine, winning the stage, sweeping the race. Devin Butch. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Man, what a run for you here tonight. Led pretty much every lap except for, I think, one where Blaze Richardson stayed out there and led a lap from you. But, man, what a race overall. I know there's a lot of cautions, a lot of carnage. We talked about it probably going long green flag, which it kind of did, except for those green-white checkers there at the end. But, man, just talk us through the last part of the race and what was going through your mind, especially battling with Eddie there and watching him lose it there underneath you.
Yeah, I feel awful for Eddie, man. He was definitely the fastest truck on the track tonight. It wasn't even close. He had the long run speed that we didn't have. We were able to get to the outside of him out of 2 on the first lap, and that was the reason we won this race. Eddie caught us at the end of the stage. We were able to hold on, and then we had that long run there before that string of cautions. I think it was an incident with Blaze where Eddie and Matt had run me down for like 5 seconds, and I thought I was saving. So if it was 5 more laps under green, they would have gotten by me, and that would have been our race. And then, I watched the replay. I want to make sure I didn't crowd Eddie too much. I don't know if he just lost it into 1. I apologize if I did crowd him. It didn't look like I did exactly. It looks like there was room there, but either way, I feel awful for Eddie, man. It's his home track. He was the fastest guy out here. But yeah, just being able to be the control car all night is really what got us this. We had decent speed, but having that lane choice and being able to get that jump was what did it.
Well, I've noticed all night long, it seemed like a bunch of drivers were just losing it into the corner like there. I don't know if there was a bump there or something just unsettling the truck, especially on cold tires, maybe bottoming it out. I'm not sure. It's just really weird to see the trucks all spin like that, especially off of turn number 2. But being the control truck, that really was the key here tonight. We saw that top lane really dominate here tonight. And I said it a couple times, I'm sure guys like Eddie and Matt there kind of wish there was a choose cone so they could have started behind you. But man, what was the secret there, especially on those restarts, to be able to get out to the lead that you were able to right on the bat?
Yeah, just being able to control control from the jump, man. It's tough. I've lost races before by switching it up, going later in the box, going earlier in the box, because I try to stay consistent and hope no one picked up on it going earlier in the box, because I figured if I went later, then whoever's inside of me, they might be able to time it at the beginning, thinking I'm going at the beginning, and I've lost a couple that way. So kind of just had a starting point. I was hoping we had some teammates behind us at the end to try and follow through, so be side by side behind us. I know D Wright did a really good job on that, the second to last restart, and he was looking at a third place finish before that caution came out. I thought we had the white flag, but we got the white in car, didn't get to the line yet, so we had to do one more. But yeah, it's just even that one lap of side by side per second, it allows the leader to just hit their marks for one lap, and it's up here. It's enough to get you out there and let you be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, Barney had the white flag waving, but then threw the yellow just before he crossed the line there. So, unfortunately, he had another green-white checker there. How worried about those green-white checkers were you there at the end?
Yeah, there was a lot of talk going on in the Discord, because at one point it could have been myself, D Wright, and Junior on the bottom, so we could have timed it and maybe cleared D Wright to second and had Junior side by side for third. So there's stuff going back and forth. I didn't take the bottom all race. We were going back and forth. D was telling me, you'll definitely clear him, and I think I could have, but it's such a little stretch from the start finish to one to be able to get that good entry. So yeah, it was nerve wracking. Definitely did not. We don't have green white checkers often though, so it's been a while since we've had a string like that. And I don't mind them. I know it makes for a really good race. And I've come out on the bad end of some green white checkers, so I'll take this one for sure.
I did see Eddie just put in the chat, wasn't crowded, just lost it on his own, good win. So there's your answer there.
Yeah, and both series we've been glued to each other all season. I mean, I think we've had in Next Gen tomorrow night, Dev Sports Cards Next Gen series, I think we've had consecutive on track, consecutive position finishes like 6 or 7 times, and I've had a blast racing with him as a teammate. All the teammates, the Wrights, and then Junior, but me and Eddie have just been glued to each other all season, and he always gives me a ton of room, and I make sure to reciprocate that to him as well.
Well, next week you move on to Texas. You're already locked into the round of 8. So what's the strategy next week? Is it just going to be a take it easy kind of night, or are you going to try to get max points there as well?
We'll try and go for the trophy, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, Josh. I don't think we've gone to Texas in any series since like season 2. So definitely going to have to get into practice, take advantage of the hour there. I really hate that track because turns 1 and 2 drives like Kentucky, and you know how bad I am at Kentucky. We won't get into that, but it's just a tricky track with that new config, man. The old Texas was so good, and the new one is just really, really tough with that turn 1 and 2. So definitely have to get some laps in before that. It's thankfully we locked in with a track like that, because I don't know what to expect, especially with all the new guys we have this season. Some guys may absolutely have that place figured out, like Hickox at Vegas last week. So we'll just have to see.
Well, again, good luck next week, and congratulations again on the win, locking yourself into the round of 8. Before I let you go, anyone want to thank you? Shot you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank your air conditioner for working tonight, Josh. That's awesome. Thanks for being here.
Still no AC down in the basement, just cool enough to run the computer.
Okay, well, appreciate you for being here. Everyone at Intensity for doing what they've been doing for us this season. Dev Sports Cards, Morse Customs. I know Eddie stepped up to the plate, did a lot of these playoff paint schemes, getting the banners on. So thank you to Eddie. Level Up Subs, New Craft on Jewelry Design, McKinleyville Barbershop. All my teammates, just great communication this season. We got all 5 guys in the playoffs for both series, which is really neat. Looking forward to Richmond tomorrow.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win, and I look forward to seeing you on track tomorrow night.
Thank you, brother. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, man. Have a great night.
You as well. Thanks.
So there you have it, your winner here tonight, Devin Butchno, getting the win here at Bristol. We want to thank everybody for joining us here again tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or on Kick. Do appreciate you tuning in with us live here on Intensity Broadcasting. We'll see you next week as the Morris Customs Truck Series takes on Texas Motor Speedway. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night on Noma TV for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Next Gen Series as they get their first round of the playoffs underway from Richmond International Raceway. Again, I want to thank all our great partners over at Race EPI, The Butt Kicker, IntensityBroadcasting.com, Morris Customs, Dev Sports Cards, Blue Ridge Auto Group, all for coming on board and keeping the series running as it is. We do appreciate you all as well for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Until next time, we want to thank you again. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, like, and subscribe. Oh, anytime we are live here on Intensity Broadcasting, and as our boy Atman Weiss would say, over and out.